Sami, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Okay, well, we were talking that you are the designer of the game, but
Yes.
also the illustrator. That's not really common,
Yeah, I know.
but that's fine. Your game, it's very cute.
Thank you. I really appreciate when people say things like that.
Okay, and you were illustrator before or game designer?
Illustrator first, and then I just stumbled upon creating games, and then it was natural for me to illustrate my own games because I already knew how to do that.
Okay, and you have been gaming for a long time, or?
Pretty much so my whole life.
Yeah.
Starting with the more simple stuff and advancing to the more hobby games later on and stuff like that.
Okay, and tell me a bit the story of De Los Merchants, how you start creating it and that stuff.
The main objective with the game was just to create a small card game that I can play with my friends. But after creating it, my friends, including myself, liked the game so much that I thought about publishing it, and here we are now.
Okay, it was the first time you created a game?
It was first time when I seriously created a game. There are some small games that I did when I was a kid, like roll and move and stuff like that. But this is the first game that I seriously created.
Okay, and then you create the game, played with friends, decide to release it, and Snowdale is your company as well. Then you did everything.
Yeah, I did everything. Before games, the company was just so I made websites, but later on I'm now full-time creating board games because I like that way more.
Great. And you wanted to create a kind of deck building, or was something that came later?
The first thing was that I wanted to create a pretty small game, so it wouldn't be that big of a task when I started doing games. And then I just like card games, and I'm not that much of a deck building game fan, so it was weird for me to want to create one. But with that one, there are many twists that are different in my game compared to different other deck building games, because I wanted to make a game I like to play myself.
Great. You were inspired by any game that you thought, these things I like from here, something?
The thing that I was most inspired was games in general that have really high replay value, so you can play it again and again and the game will feel way different each time. A great example is Cosmic Encounter that has so many player powers that the game is radically different each time you play, so you never quite get bored of it. So that's why I wanted to create a game like that you can play it again and again, and it will feel different each time.
With the different families mixing.
Yeah, because both games come with 6 decks, and you only use few of those in one game, and depending on which ones you include, the game feels way different.
Yeah, and why you choose animals that are selling stuff?
There are so many games with humans that I just wanted to do something different, and I really like animals. So yeah, and just other thing is that the games come with multiple decks, as said already. It was easy to use animals, so I can team each deck really naturally. So for example, if you like mean stuff, you can include the thieving northern raccoons, because people know that raccoons steal stuff.
Yeah, you could take archetype animals. Yeah, well, that really worked. I think that when you released the game, that was big success. It was more than you thought?
Yeah, the game has really taken off, and it's pretty much word of mouth. So when people play it with their friends, they like it, they buy it, they play it with their friends, and it's pretty much just...
Yeah, we are pretty hyped with De Los Merchants too. You released it at the same time? Or?
The first one was released in 2015, and the second one was released in 2016, so last year at Essen. And this is not going to be the end of De Los Merchants, so there will be more stuff in the future.
De Los Merchants 3, 6 new animals.
Yeah.
Okay, what can you tell me about this one? It changes some things?
Yeah, the basic premise is the same. So it also comes with 6 different decks that you can combine with the first one or play by themselves in any way you want. But there are some new animal force decks there. So for example, the slots, they're slow, so slow that whenever you use their effect, it only gets resolved at the start of your next round. So that's also one of the things that I try to tie the team into the deck. So that's why there are slots and not something else.
Cool. Which are the other families?
Yeah.
Which are the other
so
families?
there are the slots, then there are these so-called friendly Fennec foxes, but they're only friendly for their friends and stuff like that.
Okay.
So they are, with those ones, there are actions that kinda help everyone, but played at the right time, they really help you and might hinder other players.
Okay.
Then
They seem friendly, but they are really not.
Yeah, they want to seem friendly. Then there's these observant snowy owls, which are all about doing small things on your opponent's turns. So you're looking quite carefully what actions they are doing on their turns, and whenever they do trigger certain things, you can show that you have an owl card on your hand and you may do a small action on their turn.
Okay, a bit of control maybe then.
Yes, and it really makes the game feel really interactive and you're engaged to the game all the time, even if it's not your turn. Then we have the platypuses. They are experimental and they like to do some crazy stuff and they manipulate their own playing field. So, for example, you win the game by playing cards in front of you, and usually you can't use those later. But with platypuses you have options to maybe pick them back to your hand, even in the later games.
Great. What else?
There's these intimidating dwarf crocodiles, which
intimidating dwarf crocodiles. Great.
They make threats and things like that. So they may say that if you're now going to purchase new cards from the market, they're going to be more expensive. So, and in the first one there were the raccoons who steal mostly stuff from your opponent's hands. The crocodiles are all about stealing stuff from other players' decks. I guess the last one here is the reckless marble polecats. So in the first one there were the ocelots, which were all about luck and chaos. So this is the lucky faction in the second one. They come with their own special die, which is used in certain card effects. And while the ocelots may use certain attack cards to other players and mix cards and stuff like that, the polecats are all about taking risks and being rewarded for them, hopefully. So you can, for example, try to change the value of a certain cards by throwing the die. So if you fail, it's all on you. No one gets hurt except yourself.
Yeah.
So they are the
madness.
yeah.
Kind of animal.
So they're not nasty, but they include a lot of luck with them.
Cool. They seem really funny to play, and they interact well with the first ones.
Yeah, there are some crazy combos that you can make depending on which decks you include in each game.
And for Merchants 3, you have 6 new races also?
There will be a Dale Merchants 3, which will include 6 totally new ones, but between the second and the third there will be a bigger collector's box that you can use to store everything in it, because these games, the boxes are quite small and you can't fit everything in one box. So fans of the game really ask for a box which they can use to store stuff. But it won't be an empty one, so there will be quite a lot of content in that box too.
Oh, great. New races or something like that, new animals?
New races and totally new things that are mostly aimed for experienced players of the series, because those are the guys who want really the big box. If you're a more casual player, then you can just pick these smaller ones, but if you're a true fan, you can get the big one with the a bit more complicated stuff in it.
Sami, thanks for your time, thanks for your game, thanks for your gorgeous art. It's been a pleasure to have an interview with you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.